we'll make our own GTA 6 o'clock album that then we can release to the world and you can listen while you are playing GTA 6.
On this week's GTA 6 o'clock, Trailer 3, where is it?
We actually postponed the recording of this episode till later on in the day.
Is May the 19th the last date to be excited about?
And see if it forces Rockstar into action.
And what can the Pro Edition bring to the GTA 6 party?
Will GTA 6 even offer a 60 frames a second mode?
It's all here on this week's GTA 6 o'clock.
Hello and welcome to episode 123 of GTA 6 o'clock, the world's most in-depth and best connected GTA 6 show. And in the week where everyone and their dog wanted us to be talking about all the new information that we got from Trailer 3, we are here to bring you all of the other new information about GTA 6 and Rockstar Games. I'm your host, James JJ Jarvis. This is Dan Dawkins. And trust me, friends, this isn't the episode I wanted to be recording. What I wanted to be doing was a big old in-depth analysis. But here we are. That's coming soon. TM, maybe not. First things first, though, Dan. Happy birthday. It's Dan's birthday today, everybody. The most important thing.
Yeah, as you watch this, it's my birthday.
Yes.
As you watch this, it's not impossible. There will be a Trailer 3. I think it's unlikely.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, Rockstar Games, should you be watching and you can manipulate all your plans at the last minute to suit my birthday, don't. I'm taking a day off from my birthday. In fact, no, do, because that would be the ultimate birthday present and blessing and curse.
Oh, no, I actually spoke to them and they said they deliver it next Tuesday, just in time for the show next Wednesday.
Oh, that would be ideal.
Yeah, I didn't speak to them. Don't
No.
read anything into that. But anyway,
thank you.
Here is hoping that it is going to happen before the investor call. The next Tuesday date is May the 19th.
Yep.
Which is next Tuesday. For all of those people who were saying May the 19th from the very beginning, I'm pretty sure that was me.
Don't check back in history. Let's just take that as said.
Somebody on the podcast might have said May the 12th was a really, really promising date. But yeah, let's not go and check. May the 19th.
Yeah, we love May the 19th.
What a date that could be in GTA 6 history. However, some people were convinced that May the 12th, today, as we're recording this, we actually postponed the recording of this episode till later on in the day, just in case there was going to be some kind of trailer reaction to do. There's not. So we're doing this show instead, which might mean this show is slightly shorter than some of the previous ones because, to be honest, we'd hung quite a lot of hopes on being able to talk about some trailer stuff. But why had some people, like me possibly, convinced themselves that May the 12th was going to be a good day? Because I think this is something you asked me in the office the other day, and we were like, why has it become such a prominent thing?
Yeah, it was. And it's also something I look back at what I'd written myself in the newsletter to remind myself, and I'll reshare that on social, to remind myself why did we even think this was a good day? And I guess there are actually, if you follow the runes of what Rockstar do, there were a couple of things that felt like they were falling in place, right? So I would say probably the overarching umbrella thing is, there's a couple of them. You can decide which one comes to the first order. One is, I guess we are approaching 190 days until release, just 27 weeks. Or in other words, we're effectively at the start of what will be the 6-month countdown cycle to the release of GTA 6. Now, when I wrote about this in the newsletter, with Red Dead Redemption, they dropped Trailer 3 5 months and 24 days, I think, give or take a day, before the game's release.
Yeah.
We will be on, and this, if you want another little clue to get excited about, on next Tuesday, May the 19th, we will be exactly 6 months until the release.
We're in the right ballpark.
So we're getting there, right?
Yeah.
Now, you could equally say it could be the week after, etc., etc. But we're getting into the ballpark of the 6-month marketing window they've used previously. We also know that Strauss Zelnick, who's been super, super active, almost suspiciously so, has talked a lot about pre-order date soon. We talked about it last week, using the word soon a lot. in a way that felt slightly suspicious. We also know, looking at historical patterns, we've seen shadow drops of like trailers. We saw the last trailer was shadow dropped, and that was after, correct me if I'm wrong, after the delay was announced, but a weekish before the investor call.
Yeah, Friday was like a slightly unusual announcement of the delay. And then everyone was like, all right, well, at least we got the delay to talk about. And then Tuesday, trailer. Much more exciting just before next call.
Yeah, and then also, again, why Tuesday? Because it's difficult to say it's a trend, but you would say if there was a day of the week Rockstar prefer, certainly for the GTA 6 campaign, it's been Tuesday. Once again, we've done that analysis on the show. I've done it in the newsletter where I've literally written down every day they've done a thing, and it's been Tuesday for most of the GTA 6 campaign. Doesn't mean it always will be. That's just what it was. So you again would start to gravitate to days like today as we record, or next week.
Yesterday, as you're listening to this.
Yeah, yesterday, you're listening to this, exactly. But for us, it's the day. You could also say there's been a lot of background activity that could add up to pre-orders, right? Now, this probably began with something we discussed on the show probably a month or two ago now, with the the PSN IDs. I can't remember how you describe it, but the IDs on the page linked to SKUs and product pages.
Yeah, like the store pages.
Yeah, people had noticed them, and usually that's a precursor to the game moving from the wishlisting phase, where you can just say, I want to wishlist this game, to the product SKU page, where you can turn it into a pre-order, where there's a price attached. That felt slightly weird, slightly suspicious. On top of that, we have had, and I don't know what day it began. I think it was this weekend, right? Or
Friday, Saturday.
Sony have been emailing PS4 owners saying along the lines of, you've wishlisted GTA 6. Now's a good time to get PS5 ready because you'll need to upgrade to make the most of it. Conspiratorial-minded folks like myself would say, not in itself a guarantee, but another positive sign that marketing is starting. This is the outer perimeter of marketing starting.
Yeah, the tap is dripping.
Yeah, it's
is. Not quite yet been fully released.
It's been a year since the last trailer. You've got us almost exactly till 6 months begin. Strauss has been out saying, red meat marketing's about to begin. Summer. All right, it's not technically summer. It's really close. Earnings call traditionally has always been a time where they've done something a little bit before the earnings call, largely because it gives Strauss the ability to answer anything that's come up from the trailer or to address any financial implications of the trailer, rather than something happening after the call and it could do something to the share price he can't control anymore because he's not as visible. So that's another reason to do something before an earnings call. On top of that, and I think this is where it starts to get a little bit too constellation in the stars are spelling out, trailer 3. You've got, as we speak, and I think this is probably 2 hours after we speak, Game Informer are revealing their next cover game, which they've teased, correct me if I'm wrong, James, as being something like blank, 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 blank.
Yeah, it was I think our next cover feature will be redacted, 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 redacted. 4 things where you would look at it as a GTA 6 fan and go, Grand Theft Auto 6 fits into that box quite perfectly.
Even if it was as simple as all we're allowed to show is new artwork at this stage, it would still be Game Informer breaking the artwork, not Rockstar. I do not expect that to happen.
No.
So, I don't, time would have made a fool or a hero of us, right? But I don't expect Game Informer to have the GTA
Let us know
6
in the comments what the Game Informer cover. Actually, we'll already know that as
well. Post your pictures of the GTA 6 Game Informer cover with our faces shopped in with AI. Whatever. I just I don't expect that to be how they would go.
No,
right?
No, it's never happening. I'm going to say that out loud. It's not happening. It's never happening.
Get your AI tools ready, guys.
Well, not never, because never's a
strong word.
It's not happening for GTA 6.
It's very, very, very unlikely. Says James Jarvis, where I'm more agnostic.
Okay, that's the past covered. That was yesterday's news.
Yes.
Nothing happened yesterday. So, what is the news of the future? What's coming next? When could this trailer drop? Obviously, as I have said for months, May the 19th. The date I had nailed down for a long time. I think you were scrambling around. You probably put a 75% chance on it or something.
Sure.
May the 19th. That's next Tuesday. That still works in the current timeline and takes into account everything you've already said based on why we didn't get it on May the 12th or why everyone was excited about it happening. This week could be the reason for everyone to be excited about it happening next week. It's just all of those dates change slightly, but I think it all still works, right? You're within 190 days. You can still shadow drop the trailer. It would be 2 days before the investor call.
Yeah,
it's still
2 days
before the investor call, so it still works. And it's 6 months within the marketing timeline. I think all of those things, for anyone who wants to continue to be excited, still works. There's one more date. I think the 19th is a good date before the investor call. There's obviously lots of other Tuesdays after that date. There's the 26th. For me, I don't know how you feel, I don't think that they would do a call like that without being able to say anything and then immediately release a new trailer that will, I imagine, just confirm the release date again, which Strauss can say we're still targeting November 19th. It probably doesn't change that much, but putting it out as a public-facing bit of material to say again November 19th, that soon after investor call, of course they can do it. I just think they would be better off doing it before rather than after. Yeah.
Before I get on to May 19th, I will just throw out there as a chapeau tip to a fellow, I don't use the word, any words that are disparaging, the dedicated person who mapped the planetary cycles to suggest, and actually the graphs this person produced are exceptional.
You've gone quite deep into this, haven't you?
Well, I shared it on the newsletter because I thought the graphs were really impressive. And if you're going to go there with a theory, go there, right? And It's very, very well done. It doesn't make it true, but it makes it, I admire the commitment to the bit. Now, this person had mapped all the different trailer releases to planetary cycles or something. It's properly outre in terms of theories, right? But their prediction was Thursday, May 14th. So, were the stars to literally align, you'll be having the trailer tomorrow as you watch this. Yeah. I'm not convinced that's true. But,
the planets have made mistakes there.
I don't necessarily, but if it was true, I don't think it's because of the planets. Let's put it that way, right? But it could be, come Friday, Rockstar say, strap in trailer next Tuesday. It could be on Monday, they say, strap in trailer tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then on Tuesday, and again, we're only saying this because Tuesday's a good day. Tuesday's a good day because it's what they've always done. It's a good day in a media working week. We work in the media. It's usually we're human beings who have a normal life. People get to work on a Monday. You're normally like, oh, I've forgotten how to work. Get your feet under the desk, blah, blah, blah. I'm exaggerating, right? You know what I mean? People are in the groove by Tuesday.
Yeah.
And they're up and running. And you've also got a day to get ready, make your plans. Mm-hmm. Rockstar want to hit that news cycle at its peak. So they're going to do it Tuesday, right? It's a great day to do it. Yeah. End of the week, people are getting tired. They're like, the last thing you would want as a journalist is for Rockstar to drop GTA trailer 3 at 5 p.m. on your working day on a Friday.
Yeah. Well, and also I think it's worth taking into account that if it was going to be a Monday, like you've suggested, a lot of Rockstar is in New York, and doing that at their regular time is about 2 p.m. UK. That's 9 a.m. New York. You don't really want to be going into work first thing on a Monday going, oh, today's the day we're dropping one of the most anticipated entertainment trailers ever. Oh, it's 8:45, my train's late, so I'm going to miss it.
Exactly that. You'd want to have a day of coordination to say, dear Rockstar North, are we good to go? We've got the trailer. Yes. Stakeholders. Yes. Everyone's yes. Right, we're all set for this time, aren't we? Yes, go. Exactly that. Rockstar is still a normal organization behind the facade that have to make these decisions. They want to build time that, behind it all, it's real people living real lives making decisions. They want to build in that kind of buffer. Now, why else is Tuesday good? Tuesday's good because it is actually 2 days before the earnings call. let's say, and this might not be what they do if they do anything, let's say they did launch pre-orders, it would be, something they could talk about in the earnings call.
Yeah.
Now, it might be too soon to have data. It might be something where Strauss could just say in the call. An analyst would certainly ask, pre-orders have launched, what are you seeing? And he might go, well, I'm not at liberty to disclose, but...
Well, you could just go, we've had some significant numbers.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
It's one of those coded words for it's going gangbusters, right?
Yeah.
It's absolutely going brilliant. Sidebar here, something to note is whatever happens with Trailer 3, eyes on the investor call, because Rockstar have also said explicitly in the last call they're going to address financial year guidance for the next year, which means we'll get the first indication in the most explicit way of how much money Rockstar expect to make from GTA 6.
Yeah.
That's really fascinating.
Assuming they don't come out with we've bumped this into
and this is it.
Financial
and like
year.
if there's but because people know what they usually make in a year, if they said a number that was there or thereabouts again, it would be so baked into the numbers that GTA isn't in there. They can't do that without saying, oh, and by the way, GTA is slipped.
Yeah.
So like you can't hide a game of this scale, which is tipped to make, pick your number, between 2 to 3 billion, right, within its first week, let's say. Take-Two in a year make in the region of 6.5 to 7 billion. It's 40-50% of the entire number. You don't hide that.
No.
It's huge. So like, as I say, that's a sidebar, but the earnings call is exciting for that reason alone. I'd be looking, at Tuesday the 19th. I think that's interesting. I wouldn't entirely rule out Thursday the 14th, but
I love that. I love that you're like sprinkling the grains of hope there for anyone watching the episode on Wednesday. They're like, hey guys, maybe tomorrow.
No, I'm just saying I couldn't, but like but I don't say that with confidence, or like I know. I'm just saying like anything could happen from here on in, and if I were forced to put any chips on the table, it would be towards Tuesday the 19th. When we talked about this previously, like before we knew when the earnings call definitely was, we'd thrown around, could it be Tuesday the 5th or Tuesday the 12th? Wrong on both accounts, dummies.
Yeah, but for me, remember when I said the 19th? I think we're skirting around that.
Okay.
Quite a lot of
Nobody
times.
go back and check what was actually said, because that could be damaging for many people on this little chat we're having. But it was also hedged that it could be as far back as the 19th if it was the 21st.
Yes.
So that's where we are now. I think that's the scenario we're in. Or not at all. Let's be clear. Or not at all. And maybe it's as literal as no marketing till the summer. Summer technically begins on whatever day it is in June. Now, summer begins, trailer begins. I don't know.
Possibly.
Like, I look at the Red Dead campaign and just think, it's pretty much 6 months. And we are, as I say, next Tuesday, we're officially 6 months away from the launch. Come on, guys.
If I had 100 chips, I would put 80 of them on the 19th.
Wow. 80%.
And then 10 of them on the 14th, just because I'm humouring you. And then 10 of them on the 26th. The problem we're having with the 26th is that the 25th is a bank holiday in the UK. So all the things we just said about people actually going into the office and prepping and everything won't happen at Rockstar London. Is the bank holiday observed in Scotland? Don't know.
But that's another great reason. It's bank holiday Monday in the UK on the 25th. I think that would also make the 26th even less likely because there's less of a prep day.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that they can't shadow drop it like they did before. Like, they don't have to do hey, tune in tomorrow because the trailer's coming. They didn't do it for trailer 2. I think it's unlikely they do it for trailer 3. But, hey, any news is good news. So if they do, I'm all on board for it. So if we're saying the 26th is ruled out because of a bank holiday, and we know this is all like picking at hairs here, but let's do that. The following Tuesdays are the 2nd and the 9th, which is right over the Summer Game Fest window. I don't think Rockstar want the trailer to be around that event because there's so much other stuff going on. So that pushes the whole thing back till possibly The next one, June the 16th, maybe that's far enough away from Summer Game Fest is like June 5th to the 7th-ish, 5th to the 8th. So you're not going to do it on the 9th. So then you have to wait another week. You're doing it on the 16th. That's approximately only 150 days away from launch, like 22 weeks. Which
you're getting down to like 5 months to launch then.
Getting close.
And it's not too late, but like it's not the 6-month window, whatever. They're not going to do it in the middle of Summer Games Fest. Partly not because they're worried, it's almost disrespectful to the rest of the industry to drop a trailer and Rockstar might go, well, fun you, go and have some of our trailer. I just think they'd avoid it. They've never been someone who participates in the jamboree of E3.
No, they want to be before or after.
And the one time they really have lent in was sort of a fiasco. That was Agent, right, appearing on the Sony stage.
Yeah, well, don't do that again.
It's a long time ago. It's a long time ago, different thing. I just think they'll dodge all of Summer Games Fest in that period. So I think you're right. I think if it's not before the 26th of May, we're then looking almost like 16th of June onwards. It's a big gap. So, and what I will say is, for all of us, we're desperate for news, all of us, right? Let's be clear. The community, it's been one of our best, worst, maddest weeks, right? Everyone's lost their minds, completely lost their minds. And we're desperate. And maybe the best advice for all of us is to stop talking about GTA 6. And I say that on a show about GTA 6.
That's not going to happen.
Which is not going to happen. But maybe if Rockstar thought we'd lost interest,
right,
they'd have to go,
okay.
Oh, whoa, wait. We actually do have a trailer 3, mofos. So we just need to, it's like a prisoner's dilemma game where...
This is the kind of thing I say to my dog. Yeah. To people who are meeting my dog. She doesn't like meeting new people. And they're like, I'm going to go and sit on the floor. And I'm like, the more you do that, the more she's going to like not want to be your friend. And if you just ignore her, she might come over and then be friendly with you. So... what we're saying is treat GTA 6 like you would a timid little dog.
Well, maybe we need to organise a national day of GTA 6 silence, not international, global day of silence, and see if it forces Rockstar into action.
Yeah, that day of silence, I'm going to say, should be the May the 18th. And then...
there we go then.
On the 19th, boom, trailer arrives.
Global day of GTA 6 silence. We need to think of a snappier title than that. And then... Come of the day, come of the trailer, everyone's happy.
Okay, well, tune in next week for a full analysis of Trailer 3, hopefully, which will be on Wednesday the 20th. Let's see if the stars align. Right, we've had a question from one of our viewers now. This is from Hanu via email. They say, first of all, I'm a big fan, by the way. Just want to ask you one thing. What do you think the performance difference will be on PS5 or PS5 Pro, as I'm torn between the two? Now, as we know, the game is obviously going to be coming out on both systems. It's a PlayStation game, but PlayStation 5 Pro should be the most impressive place to play the game. But if you look at Trailer 2, the statement on that is all footage captured on PlayStation 5, like base console. So all of the trailer footage is from your base PS5. But I think it's interesting to talk about maybe what the Pro could offer you. We should caveat this with, obviously, now the Pro is much more expensive than it was like a month ago. And we covered this when all of the prices went up. But now, to get a PS5 Pro and GTA 6 bundle whenever that does or doesn't happen, it's going to set you back close to £1,000. Definitely $1,000.
Yeah.
So it's a big choice. What difference could a pro version of the game bring? Well, I think the only way to do this is to look at some previous games that might have, or that have released with a pro compatibility mode. And that's not very good words, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Ghost of Yotai, Sony first party, obviously slightly different development because it's not a third-party title, but that had different settings that you could choose, like you can on most games now, between quality and performance. Quality targeted 30 frames a second at 4K on PS5 Pro, but slightly lower than 4K on a base PS5 with no ray tracing. Performance mode targets 60 frames a second at 1440p on PS5 Pro, but closer to 1080p, 60 frames a second on base PS5, no ray tracing. And then ray tracing is capped at 30 frames a second at around 1728p, not a real resolution, on PS5 Pro, and closer to 1440p on base PS5 with ray tracing. So essentially, it just offers you higher quality, like higher fidelity on the graphics and a slightly smoother gameplay experience. Will GTA 6 even offer a 60 frames a second mode? I don't know. Like, it might just go for like the resolution, jumping resolution quality. Like, it might go up like Yotai does from almost, well, targeting 4K on PS5 Pro and then under 4K for regular PS5s. I don't think it's going to give you like all of the digital enhanced edition modes that we saw, you know, when GTA 5 came out on PC. You then had the enhanced edition, which added in all of the extra visual features. I don't think it's doing that at launch. I think you're going to get maybe this choice between quality and performance. And then it's probably just a choice of like, do you think that is worth it? Do you want something that's, you know, targeting 60 frames a second at 1440p on PS5 Pro, or targeting 60 frames a second at 1080 on the regular console that you already have? It's a choice we're all going to have to make. But if they bundle it with a special edition and inflatable crocodile, I know which choice I'm making. Final
word on the Pro. There is some reporting, I don't know whether it's true or not, around how it will perform on PS5 Pro. As we were talking, I was thinking, I remember that story. I had to check the details as we were talking. So going back to, I think this is like summer last year, Dexa2 reported a story that they attributed to Detective Seeds, who we've talked about on the show. And it was saying that as part of the marketing deal, Sony is optimizing performance for PS5 Pro. Didn't say much more. Now, to that, our friend Hip Hop Gamer said, whoa, you know, stop this. This all came from me and I confirmed this, he said. It's not a rumor. And he said 60 frames a second is happening for PS5 Pro. And he's repeatedly said PS5 Pro will be the only one to run 60 frames a second. I don't know his source. I don't know if we can verify it. I'm just saying that's what he said. Now, I'd forgotten this, but just searching his post has reminded me. He said, 60 frames is happening, but also for the fun of it, here is something else people don't know yet. He said, I can confirm that GTA 6 will also feature a mode similar to the ESPN NFL 2K custom music mode. It's going to be major and most likely it will come post-launch, but the fact is, it is coming. And he wrote in brackets, Rockstar Radio, get ready. So there we go, a surprise hip-hop gamer missile from left field.
And you know what? Like that, all of that music bit ties into the thing that we were talking about a few weeks ago about possibly being able to create your own music in-game or create something that then goes on the in-game radio. All of that stuff ties up. And if that was from months ago... This
post is from...
Last year?
Yeah, last year. This is last July. So this is going back quite a way.
Yeah, almost a year ago.
Yeah.
Then, you know, there's some crumbs there to snack on, I think, especially because we've been following the trail and said, you know what, it looks like a possibility that's going to be music and music creation is going to be pretty heavy in the world of GTA 6. Like, we already know there's singers and labels and that kind of thing. Like, why wouldn't you be able to make your own music? And maybe someone did tip him off a year ago and say, you know, we're doing this music thing and we're looking at 60 frames a second on PS5 Pro. I can believe it. I can absolutely believe it.
There was that other quote that did the rounds from Hip Hop Gamer saying, we think millionaires have been made from this game, you don't realise. And we said, you assume it's for something Robloxy, right? Some kind of creator mode. Could it also be because it's this? There's some ability to make your own music and maybe share it in a public way or a way that makes money. Like,
I mean, we talked about that. And if I get to do that within GTA 6, this is what this show is becoming. So we're just going to make tracks every week once the game comes out.
Look forward to that. We won't be there'll be no more trailer predictions then. It's going to be a red hot mixing studio.
Yeah. Well, we won't need to do trailer predictions. The game will be out. We'll just be into the music studio this week, and we're going to try and make a country track. That would be pretty fun. I would like to do that maybe once a month once the game's out. We'll come back and we'll make our own GTA 6 o'clock album that then we can release to the world, and you can listen while you are playing GTA 6. That would be cool. Do that, Rockstar. There's another one. You might have to slightly slow down development a bit, but this sounds like a good thing. So we're going to wrap things up there. Sorry, this episode has been slightly shorter than a normal one, but we're saving it all for next week. The big one, the big 2-hour deep dive. Fingers crossed into Trailer 3. Let us know what you think about the dates for the predictions in the comments below. You can get in touch with us on Twitter, GTAV O'Clock, or via email, gtavio'clock@gmail.com. And you can sign up for the newsletter in case something does happen on Thursday and you want to know about it. Delivered straight to your inbox, gamesradar.com/newsletter. Go and sign up for all those things. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back next week for another episode of GTA 6 o'clock.